are Locked On Razorbacks, your daily podcast on the Arkansas Razorbacks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome into the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. I am your host, John Neighbors. I am also the host of Out of Bounds. You can catch every weekday afternoon from 1 to 4 on 103.7 The Buzz and 103.7thebuzz.com. Today's episode is brought to you by Sonos. Sonos is the official sponsor of ESPN College Football. Go to Sonos.com to learn more. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday. We'll talk about the Razorback basketball game and their first outing in the Hall of Fame Classic up here in Kansas City. Did get the victory, which is the most important thing. But we'll have a breakdown of that in just a second. But I know that people are still in football mode and getting ready for the regular season finale against the Missouri Tigers. Whether it's a rivalry or not, who cares? You just need to win this game. Plain and simple. I think I speak for most Razorback fans where I'm sick and tired of losing this game. I'm sick and tired of losing to Missouri. I'm sick and tired of their coach, Eli Drinkwitz, understanding that he can't really stand out because they're going to win. So he has to stand out by being weird and quirky and nerdy and all this. So I'm just not a fan of what they do and how they've been doing it necessarily, but who cares? As long as you get the victory, that's all that matters. But the thing is like you look at this season and it's been so much fun. Like it's been a great year. You've had some great games, especially some great home games. That Texas game with that atmosphere and everything was about as fun as you could ask. You add into the mix of the Mississippi State game and how much fun that was, and the missed field goal, and then going down to Baton Rouge and beating LSU. Just Texas A&M down in Dallas finally getting that monkey off your chest. So I love the fact that this season has been so fun and so memorable and lots of reasons to be optimistic in everything. But the last thing you want is for the 2021 Razorback football season to be like Game of Thrones. Now, I know this is going to date me a little bit on how I'm making this comparison, but just stay with me. And if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's definitely going to be something that I've had my opinions on. But in Game of Thrones, for the majority of the series, was one of the greatest television series of all time. The storylines, the acting, the action, the twists, the turns, the plot, like everything was incredible, nearly perfect. Must-watch TV every single week. And then those that didn't get a chance to watch it live, they would go back and binge watch it and on the HBO app and just love it, like love every bit of it. And it was so great that the hype kept just building and building for the series finale and all of that. So as exciting as all that was, the final season of Game of Thrones and the series finale was god-awful. It was horrible. It was atrocious. It was so bad that, at least in my opinion, it ruined the series for me. Like, Game of Thrones went from being one of the greatest television shows I ever watched to where the last season alone made me say, that was a great run, but it's not one of the greatest shows of all time. Just based solely on the final season. Now, you may say that's a little extreme, but if you watch the show, you'll know what I'm talking about, especially when the expectation was so high. But it ruined the entire series for me. I don't even want to rewatch it again because of how it went. The Razorback football team does not need that same thing to happen this year, where the season goes and people are excited. It's optimistic. There's ups, there's downs, but people are feeling great about it. They're selling out the crowds. They're showing up to games. They're being pumped up. They're proud of the way that they win, and they're proud of the way that they lose. Like, they're just proud. All of that, only to lose to Missouri in the season finale. Because, folks, I am telling you right now, if Arkansas loses to Missouri on Friday, it ruins the season for me. It ruins the season. All the goodwill, all the, beating Texas A&M, beating LSU, beating Mississippi State, playing close with Alabama, all of that goes out the window, and it is ruined if Arkansas loses to Missouri on Friday. Some of you may call that extreme. Some of you may say, well, that's stupid because, there's more than just one game. No, this game is the one that matters the most. because it is the final game of the season. You have gotten better as the season has gone on. The month of November, you have played phenomenal. And you do not need, nor do you want, your finale of this great season to be spoiled, to be tainted, because you lost to a terrible Missouri football team. Oh, well, John, but they've won 5 in a row. I mean, let's be honest here. Missouri's an improved team. They're bowl eligible. They're 6-5. Or whatever. It's not 5 in a row, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, cool. You know what? These are their wins this year. Central Michigan by 10. Southeast Missouri. North Texas by 13. They beat Vanderbilt by 9. They beat South Carolina by a field goal. And they beat Florida in overtime by 1. There is not one quality win on that schedule. Vanderbilt is atrocious. South Carolina is not great. And Florida just fired their coach because he's so bad. They lost to Kentucky by a touchdown, but they also lost to Boston College. They got smoked by Tennessee. They got smoked by A&M. They got smoked by Georgia. This is not a good football team. You better win this game. You have to win this game. Because if you don't, what was this season about? What was it about? Improving, right? Progressing, right? Well, you don't take steps forward when you lose to Missouri and Fayetteville this Friday. You take steps back. Don't let this be Game of Thrones. Don't let the final piece of your season be what defines this year. If you win, you did what you were supposed to do. But if you lose, that's what people are going to remember, and it just cannot happen. Remind everybody that we have a podcast here that is so blessed, for one, to have some great sponsors, and one of them, of course, being is NetSuite. This is it. You're about to putt to win the tournament. If you sink it, the championship is yours. But on your backswing, your hat falls over your eyes. Is this how you're running your business? Poor visibility while you're still relying on spreadsheets and outdated finance software? To see the full picture, you need to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle. It's the #1 financial system to power your growth with visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow all in one place. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control after upgrading to NetSuite. Over 27,000 businesses already use NetSuite right now. So right now through the end of the year, NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program to those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/LockedOnNCAA. So head to netsuite.com/LockedOnNCAA for special end-of-year financing on the #1 financial system for a growing business. Again, netsuite.com/LockedOnNCAA. This podcast is also brought to you by Prize Picks. I know that you're all big fans of this, and I am too, because we like to do fantasy sports. But when it comes to college fantasy sports, nobody does it better than Prize Picks. They offer more college football props than anyone else in the world, and they can offer any prop you can think of, from yardage to touchdowns, even interceptions thrown. And if you try it out today, you receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100. Just be sure to use the promo code LOCKEDON. Prize Picks allows mixed sport entries. You can take the over LeBron, like on LeBron for the combined, and the under on Mahomes in the same entry. So it's pretty customizable. They can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. Prize Picks is safe and offers fast withdrawals, so don't hesitate. Check out prizepicks.com. Use promo code LOCKEDON, or go to your app store and download the app today. Prize Picks is the daily fantasy made easy.
Locked On Razorbacks, your daily Arkansas Razorbacks podcast.
All right, so Arkansas basketball played last night in the Hall of Fame Classic against Kansas State. I was there in attendance. I happened to sit on courtside, thanks to my buddy Branson Van Landingham. Shout out to him. But me and my buddy went, and it was pretty enjoyable. I mean, first off, it's always enjoyable when Arkansas wins. They won 72-64 over Kansas State. Wasn't the prettiest game at times, but still, getting the win is really all that matters. And Arkansas was in control of this game pretty much the entire time. They were up 42-24 at halftime. Kansas State did make up some ground in the second half, but it was too little too late. And honestly, the first half of Arkansas was the best that they played all year long. I mean, I know we're talking about the first half here, but the passing, the shot selection, lack of turnovers, the defense was incredible. And it's amazing how Kansas State, or how Arkansas can be in control of a team like Kansas State when they're not hitting a billion threes like the other teams have had. So that was nice to see for a change. But Arkansas got the dub, and you can just continue to see this team grow. Like, you continue to see the things that this team is trying to do really well and trying to, like, have chemistry and whatnot. Like, that to me is is really impressive. Is just in a 4-game stretch, we saw this team already get to the point where things are looking up, things are exciting, and you can see that not only is there talent, but there's chemistry. And I think that there was nothing more evident than last night. Connor Vanover had a great game. He had 14 points and 5 rebounds for him, and he had 1 block as well. But like, he's just solid. In fact, he went 8 of 9 from the free throw line. Like, is Connor Vanover the best free throw shooter? Yeah, probably Chris Lykes, because Chris Lykes went 10 of 10 from the free throw line, so that was pretty good. But you got him coming in where Connor Vanover sometimes doesn't play. Sometimes he comes in and plays. Sometimes he plays well. Sometimes he doesn't. So, he's kind of an up-and-down guy. But between DC Toney, who's just a nasty dude underneath, he's kind of like the garbage man, just cleaning up a lot of buckets. They did exactly what they needed to do. Stanley Umude also came in and had a really good game as well. But Toney had 13 points, 9 rebounds. That is a sexy stat line, and I want to see more of that. But they got it done. J.D. Note didn't play the best game. He had 11 points, but went 4 of 17 from the field. Did have 5 assists, though, and 3 steals and 4 rebounds. So he was doing other things, too, but way too many turnovers. Had 5 turnovers for him. So the assist-to-turnover ratio, it was started off good, but ended up not being that way. 9 assists to 12 turnovers is not what you want to see. But luckily, Kansas State is not that great of a basketball team. They couldn't shoot very well, especially from three-point land. They went 3 of 22, even though Arkansas also went 3 of 22. But that's, it's just nice to see a team that doesn't make a billion threes, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But neither team shot particularly well. But it was just so weird because Arkansas did so well in the first half at shooting that they just, kind of fell off a little bit towards the end. And now they have to move on and play Cincinnati, which Cincinnati took care of business fairly easily against Illinois, which I think was surprising to say the least, because Illinois was up by, I think they were up by like 15. Illinois was up by 15 points in the first half, and then Cincinnati ended up winning by 20. Now, what sense does that make? I don't know. But at least with the case with Arkansas and Cincinnati, the Razorbacks are still favored by 5.5 points tonight, and they're gonna get what they're gonna get with a great effort by Cincinnati because they're really good defensively. They score 75 points per game, but only give up 54 points per game. So they're really good defensively. They out-rebound Arkansas. They do have more blocks in Arkansas, but Arkansas has more assists. They have more steals. So this is going to be an interesting matchup, and the predictability of the ESPN FPI gives Arkansas a 75% chance of winning. Not to say that that's the know-all, end-all, be-all, but, there's just some things that, I feel like Arkansas has it all. Like, they have the pieces, just got to continue to put it together and continue to just make it work and form it into the way that you're supposed to form it, because let's be honest, if this Razorback basketball team gets it going in a major way and everyone stays healthy, it's gonna like the ceiling is the roof, as Michael Jordan would say. Like they can go a very long way here. They just got to continue to improve, continue to get guys to make smart shots and get less turnovers and more assists. I mean, I like how certain guys are trying to share the ball, and they did have too many turnovers. And they were trying to pass it, so it wasn't like it was just a bunch of hero ball. But you got to be smart with it, and I think Eric Musselman understands that, and he'll take the win all day long, just like Razorback fans will. But I just don't know if he'll be able to play like that and be able to beat Cincinnati tonight. I think that might be a little too much to ask for. But hey, at least they're in that position. Arkansas can bring home the Hall of Fame Classic Championship presented by Hotels.com as long as they do what they need to do against Cincinnati tonight. So should be a great game, though, and of course we'll do the podcast on that tomorrow as well. But want to remind everybody, it's Thanksgiving. You all know that, and we all know what it means. Football. And nothing goes better with football than turkey and betting. BetOnline has you covered all holiday season. More props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the sports action this Thanksgiving. Head to their new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus using promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus. And it's not just college football. BetOnline has pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, and even your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, we're stuffed with deals this Thanksgiving.
You are Locked On Razorbacks, your daily Arkansas Razorbacks podcast.
All right, final segment of the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. I know that we had a lot of reaction from the Alabama game from this past Saturday, and a lot of people were chiming in and talking about it and all that. But one of the things, though, that I thought was really interesting is during my radio show actually yesterday, Dalton Wagner was, or at least Sam Pittman said in his press conference that Dalton Wagner was returning to Arkansas for his 6th season, kind of using his COVID year too, which sparked the conversation of, okay, so who could be other players possibly coming back that are on, whether they're seniors or whether they're, players that could use that COVID year or what, like how many of those players are actually there in the mix and possibly could do that? Well, I think that's a tough thing to really gauge because you never know what's in a college football player's head and what they're thinking or anything like that. But I will say, though, that I believe there's a few of them that I could see coming back and a few of them that there is no chance that they're coming back. For instance, we already know Dalton Wagner. He's going to be coming back. I could see Tyson Morris coming back, the wide receiver. He started off really strong. I haven't seen much of him here recently, but I could see him coming back. Ty Clary. I know that some of these guys, I don't know exactly the status of their COVID year either, as far as if they use it or if they want to use it, but I could see him being one of those players. Besides offensive line, because that's another thing. Arkansas people, we got to remember, Arkansas's offensive line, Dalton Wagner's a senior, but he is coming back. You got Myron Cunningham, who's a senior, and he's a senior. He's probably not coming back. You got Shane Clinton, who's a senior, Ty Clary, who's a senior. You got Ricky Stromberg, who's a senior. You got a lot of seniors on this offensive line. So that's going to be interesting. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Ricky Stromberg's a junior. So, I don't know if he'll be coming back. I think he would. I don't think he'd leave early. So that's going to be big. But that's essentially all your seniors there. But besides that, though, guys may transfer out and whatnot. Traylon Burks is not coming back, folks. As much as I would like to sit here and tell you that there's a chance that he's going to return to Arkansas and he's going to blow it up in a major way and because he loves the Hogs and wants to graduate and all this stuff. Like, I've heard this from time and time again from other people, and I'm like, folks, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. It's just not going to be the case. He's gone. Just accept it. And that's okay. He needs to be gone. He's done really well. But that's on the offense. Now, defensively, you talk about seniors that it's a difference. Like Trey Williams, Markel Utsey, John Ridgway. Your 3 starting defensive linemen, they're all seniors. Bumper Pool, Grant Morgan, and Hayden Henry. Your 3 starting linebackers, they're all seniors. Dorian Gerald, who originally started the year, keeps getting injured, but he was a senior. He's probably going to be gone, I would assume. But then you got Joe Fouché, his starter in the defensive secondary. He's a senior. You got Monteric Brown, also a senior. If any of those guys will use their COVID year, it'll be big time. But the only ones that I could see or that I've heard rumblings, I've heard Bumper Pool might be one of those guys that would come back. I have heard that one of the Missouri transfers, whether it's Williams or Utsey, I heard that they're going to be at least maybe possibly interested in coming back. And Buster Brown, Monteric Brown, heard that he might be interested in coming back. Now, again, this is just speculation and all that. Like, I have no sources or any of that crap, but there's at least some interest. There's at least some sort of, thing where people are wondering, okay, well, maybe this is somebody that could come back. Maybe this is somebody that could really help us out because you're going to need all the help that you can get, let's be honest, especially defensively. But as of right now, that's all I know is possibilities. But, hey, I think that with Sam Pittman and what he's done, there's players that want to play for him. And so they're going to keep on thinking about coming back. And to me, that's a victory within itself. Appreciate everybody listening into the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or on Google Play. You can also get after me on Twitter at BuzzJohnNeighbors for any questions, comments, concerns that you may have. We'll keep it going from there. Same podcast time, same podcast channel tomorrow afternoon. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you then.
You are Locked On Razorbacks, your daily Arkansas Razorbacks podcast.